first shot of the match so far. They have 2. Liberty doesn't have 1 just yet. Expect that to change, though. Active Liberty team in scoring have not been as active actually in creating chances. They're just efficient when they muster them. Since conference play started, in those 2 matches, they have the second fewest shots. But as a whole, much more active than that when you look at what they've done throughout the year. They're first in goals. A possession-based group led by Kelly Finley in his 2nd season. Former head coach at NC State and Butler. 2-time Horizon League Coach of the Year with the Bulldogs. And we apologize for the technical difficulties. We understand the stream was down and is just now back up. You've not missed any scoring. It is scoreless between Lipscomb and Liberty. And we're in the 14th minute of action. Wes Bowling with you from South Nashville, the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. 2 teams battling for conference supremacy. Lipscomb still has a chance to win the North Division. Liberty can still finish 2nd if they win today in their final conference match. Lipscomb has 1 to play. And here comes a set-piece opportunity for the Bisons as Golden and Nauman stand next to it. Nauman spins this one in, and it skies a little past where Scott Golden was positioned. He taps it out for a goal kick. So resetting this match, the things that we thought you were hearing 15 minutes ago and now you are hearing. Lipscomb and Liberty, the 2 best attacking units in the conference. They're tied for the lead in scoring with 15. In fact, 9 of the 13 top individual points scorers in the ASUN are on the pitch today between these 2 teams. If Lipscomb wins today and beats Bellarmine in its conference finale, it will win the North Division, and that's important. In this 3-team division, the winner gets a bye straight to the ASUN semifinals, and they would host that match. A loss means they're forced into a 2-versus-3 showdown, and if Liberty were to beat Lipscomb today, Liberty would take that 2nd spot for now and have a chance to hold on to it and host a match against Lipscomb if the Bisons can't get it done against Bellarmine in their next contest. It's a little bit complex as it's a unique year. Divisional play meaning just a 3-team division and 2 conference matches each against the other 2 teams in the league. Golden under pressure slips it forward for Turner. Coach Charles Morrow honoring seniors today, 4 of them for the Bisons, as Noah Golden ventures forward looking for options. Ahead to Smith at the elbow. Smith double teamed with his back to the defense, taps it back to Luca Nauman. Turner, Doherty. Smooth switch of play over to the near side. That's Jake Zeck, one of those seniors. He beat Liberty in overtime, the game-winning goal, his first career 15 days ago. Robinson to Zeck. Nothing doing for him forward, so back to Golden, facing pressure, intercepted. The leading point getter in the conference, Musa Morris, also leading goal scorer, tries to break. Neutralized, though, by the Bisons, who will switch play. 2 possession-based teams today going at it as this one's launched over to the near side of the pitch. Zeck can have a tough time judging that in this gusty breeze, but he does it skillfully. Zeck along the byline. Crosses in, well placed, but Hayes Wood's header is high. Strong linkage of passes there for the Bisons in this 17th minute of action, and probably the most positive play we've seen from them today, but you could argue they've been on the front foot so far this afternoon. 60-degree day, windy today, gusts up to 20 miles per hour, and our thoughts are with those in Nashville who lost their lives last night, lost possessions in a once every 10 years flooding event. It was the 4th wettest day in the history of the city of Nashville. 2 of those days that were wetter were the infamous 2010 flood. And since then, haven't had as much rain in one day as we did yesterday. And it's affected so many people. Our thoughts first and foremost are with them. It also delayed yesterday's match to today. And as I look across to Shackelford Road, we are at the bottom of a hill that comes down from the beautiful Lipscomb University campus. And at the edge of campus, there's a little bit of standing water that cars are driving through. Nothing unsafe. Certainly don't want to drive through significant standing water, but just some large puddles that remain from last night. Told there was so much rain that even some of the sewers were overflowing into the street. Not a pretty situation here in Music City. The pitch, all things considered, is in really good condition, though. Lipscomb coach Charles Morrow telling us he didn't even know that they'd need the rain studs today. I walked on it before the contest, and sure enough, there's some standing water here and there. It's going to be a little spongy, but by and large, really good conditions considering the 24 consecutive hours of rain that we got yesterday. Tyler Welch comes in for Noah Holmes. Liberty with a substitution among its forward unit. Welch led the team in scoring with 3 last year. Just 1 assist this year. No goals yet for him this season. Wes Bowling with you for this important conference match. When Lipscomb and Liberty played in Lynchburg 15 days ago, Charles Morrow called it a must-win for the Lipscomb team. They had lost their first conference match to Bellarmine, making its debut in D1 college soccer. Here on this field, they beat Lipscomb 1-0. They had also beaten Liberty, and so both clubs with a lot to play for in that match, and it was Lipscomb that scored twice in the first 6 minutes of that contest. Liberty equalized in the 30th minute, and Jake Zeck, the senior, sent home the winner in the 96th minute in overtime. Morris initiates contact on Nauman, no whistle, and the leading goal scorer in the A-Sun is beaten to the ball by Louis Robinson. Clearance here. Golden trying to send it long, or Nauman rather. Every conference match Liberty's played this year has gone to overtime. All 3 of them. The Flames are 1-2 in those games. But this is a group that was ranked in the top 20 nationally when Lipscomb visited 2 weeks ago. Liberty coming off a 1-0 win against Bellarmine 8 days ago that considerably complicated the conference race. That's what happens when the new kid on the block, Bellarmine, shows up and wins its first 2 matches in league play. Contact. Bodies flying. That was Hayes Wood coming together with Nate Finley, the coach's son, who remains down on the pitch. The foul goes against the Bisons and will stop the clock now. Trainers may have to come take a look at Finley. Hope not. Hope he's able to continue. Gabe Finley, the freshman wing, leads the team in shots. He's second in the A-Sun in that category. His dad, Kelly Finley, in his second year coaching this Liberty team. And here in the 20th minute, he sees his son down on the pitch, and Finley back up without having to receive attention from the training staff, and that's good news because it means he doesn't have to leave the match even for a second. He will stay on, and Liberty will have a free kick. Hard for you to imagine them trying to pound this one deep as the wind is right in their faces. 20 miles per hour, pretty sustained wind of 15, but those gusts are getting up to 20. You can probably hear it through my microphone here. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties on the front end of the broadcast. As you can imagine, the weather creating all kinds of challenges. We are live now, though, and pleased to be with you. This is Liberty's last conference contest of the year. Lipscomb's next to last, and destiny lies with the Bisons. If they win today, and if they visit Louisville, Kentucky, and beat Bellarmine in their conference finale, they will win the division. Liberty does not have a chance to win the division, but they can still finish second if they win today, and they get a little help. It's been lobbed high, looking for Eberle. It sails past his head and out for a Lipscomb goal kick. The Bisons traveled to Conway, South Carolina last weekend, played to a draw with nationally ranked Coastal Carolina. 7 of the last 10 times Lipscomb has played a ranked team, it has earned either a win or a draw. Noteworthy for the program that qualified for the Sweet 16 back in 2018. Has been to the A-Sun title match each of the last 3 seasons. Or rather, 2 of the last 3 seasons, I apologize. They lost in the quarterfinals last season. It's a group that certainly has title aspirations, as does Liberty, which was nationally ranked until Lipscomb knocked them off. All sent wide for Golden, the reigning A-Sun player of the week, as his cross effort deflected and cleared. Kalala, sophomore center back, dispossessed. Liberty on the break. It's Welch into the box, and Scott Golden is able to neutralize the chance. 22nd minute of action. Picturesque day in Music City, and can only wish that the rest of the weekend had played out like today has. flooding across the mid-state. A match delayed until today, as there's a conversation between the referee and Jake Zeck before play will be allowed to continue, so that first throw won't count. Now he waves Gardner to throw it in, and Grayson Gardner will look for Finley near the corner flag, marked by Noah Golden. Wins the throw. Liberty led by their keeper, Danny Cordero. His 38 saves rank 8th in the NCAA and 5th best among players nationwide with 9 games played or more. Battle along the byline, won by William Turner. Clark to Eberle. Now they go back to the back line. Matrevsky to Eberle. The central midfielder launches one to a man in good position. That's Matrevsky, but he's in too good of a position, says the referee. He is offside. We're halfway through the first half now, no score between the Bisons and the Flames. And still no shots for Liberty. Lipscomb's taken 3, all of which have been off target. 1 corner kick apiece for these teams. Lipscomb leads the league in corner kicks, and by a long shot. They have 60 this year now in their 10 matches, including today. Turner nods that one ahead. Charles Morrow expected this one to be a possession-oriented game, teams trying to dictate and press each other when they lose out. What that can create is a back-and-forth style of contest with both teams wanting to gain that front foot and find holes in the other's defense. It's a defense in Liberty's case that has been barely beaten this year. Hayes Wood's going to try to do it, though. Taps it forward for Golden. His touch too light. Turner. Doherty. Forward for Javon Smith. Back to 3 defenders. That's always going to be a hard battle to win. Doherty, though, takes the shot. It takes a deflection that probably kept it from being on target, and instead Lipscomb will have to settle for a corner kick. Doherty is hot right now for this team. He scored the last time Lipscomb took the pitch against Central Arkansas in a 2-1 win. He had the game-winning goal. Earlier this year, he was the top drawer. He's on the top drawer national team of the week, and what he does so well is what you just saw him do. Sit and wait for opportunities. The central midfielder playing in an attacking role today, tremendous at knowing where to be on the pitch. Here comes Lipscomb's second corner kick of the contest. It's Golden that'll be sending it in. And Lipscomb has 4 players along the goal line for this one. Looking for Javon Smith. Goes past his head. Turner has daylight. Turner shot deflected. Hayes Wood finds the hip of the defender, and it's out for another Lipscomb corner. They have their sights set on goal, and they're getting closer and closer. Keep in mind, though, that beating Danny Cordero will not be easy. First in the ASUN in saves, in wins, in shutouts, in goals against average. He's allowed 5 goals all season, and until Lipscomb put up 3 on the Flames, they hadn't allowed a goal all year in their first 6. That was a school record. And here in the 25th minute, it's a rewind and replay. Golden. Corner kick from the same spot. He just tried one. Last time they went into the heart of the box for the striker Javon Smith. This time, it's headed high and into the waiting outstretched arms of Cordero. That was a Golden to Golden connection. The twin brothers, you wonder how many times they've combined on corner kicks in their lives. Noah, the reigning ASUN Player of the Week. He was the preseason Conference Defender of the Year. And Scott Golden has started the last 5. He's gone the distance in the last 3 for this team after sitting early. He's back in form and playing some really good soccer from his left center back role. Kalala, his partner in central defense, sends it back to the keeper, Michael Sibley. Sibley tied a season high in saves against Coastal Carolina with 5 last weekend. He also has an assist to his name on the pitch here 2 weeks ago. He assisted Tyree Spicer. He sent a goal kick over everybody's head. Spicer made 1 touch to himself and found himself clear. Was able to work it past the keeper of Central Arkansas. It's the first goal of 2 the Lipscomb scored in that non-conference win. No score between these two today. Lipscomb has had the better of the chances so far. They have 6 shots now. 6 shots, none for Liberty. 1 shot on target for the Bisons, although it was a soft header on frame by Scott Golden. That was not the toughest test that Danny Cordero will likely have to face today. Cordero, the Costa Rican, came up in the Premier Academy in Costa Rica, Saprissa, the club. Twice was on the bench for their senior team. It's a group in Saprissa that regularly plays Major League Soccer teams in the CONCACAF Champions League, Liga MX teams too for that matter. And if you're familiar at all with soccer in Nashville, you might know the name Randall Leal. He's a winger for Nashville SC. Randall Leal came from that team. In fact, he started a match one time where Cordero was on the bench as the second keeper. So pedigree is what I'm trying to say for the sophomore, 6'2". Liberty's keeper, extremely talented, and the reigning ASUN Defensive Player of the Week.
Into the match for the Flames, number 23, Michael Huss.
Substitution coming for the Flames. Michael Huss will enter for the first time today, and that's a bit of a surprise, as Huss is a major factor in the attack for this team. 4 goals, second in the ASUN. But he scored just once in his last 6. That goal came against Lipscomb in Lynchburg when these two teams last met in that exciting 3-2 contest. Javon Smith has his path forward tonight. Nauman to Turner, the 2 defensive midfield mates, combining, and now they'll send it wide to Louis Robinson with Zek overlapping. Instead, they'll go to Doherty and swing it wide to the far side on a mishit there. Doherty was looking for Hayes Wood, the charging wing, unafraid to create from that right flank, but was not going to be able to catch up to that ball. 28 minutes in, West Bowling with you at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Lipscomb and Liberty in Sunday ASUN action. Senior Day, as 4 seniors being honored today. It's a little bit unique in that there is a possibility that some of these seniors could return next year. The NCAA has long decided that because of COVID, this year would not count against player eligibility. And so any senior that decides to come back, works that out with the coaching staff, and for whom it makes sense academically as well, of course, will be able to do so. Good combination play here, and then Zek's pass forward for Robinson is foiled. That was Marco Matrevsky, who launches it above everybody's heads. Noah Golden's going to usher this out of play. So with that in mind, with that caveat in place, the 4 seniors being honored today: Jake Zek, Luke Wilson, Alex Franklin, and Benny Harris. And throughout the contest today, we'll give you a few notes on each of those guys. We'll start with Jake Zek. We mentioned him earlier in the call, as it's Doherty first. We'll get to that in just a minute. Combination play launched for Zek along the byline. Zek chips it into the middle of the box, but the ball had crossed the byline. Some groans from the fans in front of us who didn't particularly agree. That was a close call, but the assistant referee in good position there. And it looked like Liberty was well positioned to deny that chance anyway. But Zek, the man who created it, was also the man who scored his first career collegiate goal at Liberty when these two teams played 15 days ago. In the 96th minute he scored. And he was not afraid to say after the match, nor was his coach afraid to say, that he was emotional after that. Zek has had some injury challenges throughout his career, but he's always been a leader for this club and always been somebody that Charles Morrow says, if we can get him on the pitch consistently, he will contribute. And here in his senior season, that's exactly what he's doing. 5th year with the program. Had the winner against Liberty, as we mentioned. Went 104 minutes for this team against nationally ranked Coastal Carolina in that overtime draw. So he played all but 6 minutes there. Senior from Broomfield, Colorado. Fun fact about Broomfield, it's only fun because nobody was hurt. There was a plane that took off from the Denver International Airport, about a month ago, a little over a month ago, and one of its 2 engines fell off. And it fell in a front yard of a house in Broomfield, Colorado, Jake Zek's hometown. Nobody was injured. Plane landed safely. Thank goodness. They can fly with 1 engine and not just 2, but there was some scary video of that. Thankful that no one was hurt, and it gives me an interesting anecdote to tell you about Broomfield, Colorado, a suburb of Denver. and the hometown of the first senior we will feature today, Jake Zeck, who earned the start today along the left wing for this team. This ball launched by Matrevsky right into the waiting arms of Michael Sibley, the sophomore keeper. And then skied the other way, Hayes Wood trying to win the battle with Grayson Gardner. Can't do so. Skillful play there by the freshman from Lexington, North Carolina, making his second collegiate start. Third-generation college athlete, as both his dad and his grandfather played college basketball for Clemson. Athletic pedigree for the 6'2 defender, lining up at left back today. Liberty in a 4-3-3 formation to counter Lipscomb's 4-2-3-1. And for a moment, a cloud is hiding the sun, and the breeze has picked up on us. As Sibley quickly whips that one out to Louis Robinson after collecting. Robinson with his eyes up, thought for a second about connecting with Zach. Instead, Lipscomb will cobble together some passes. Honore Kalala, the sophomore, ventures forward toward the stripe. Now he'll launch one forward for Robinson, who uses that speed. Can he catch up to it before it hits the corner flag? No, says the referee. Boy, such pace on that ball as the wind just caught and carried that one. Those gusts are playing a factor in this match. It'll be a throw in the coffin corner for Liberty. So we talked about Jake Zeck, the first of the seniors being honored today in no particular order. How about Luke Wilson, redshirt senior from Columbia, Tennessee Central High School. He's a Lion. Wilson, 12 career appearances for this team, and if you talk about his legacy, certainly leadership is a part of that, but also a couple of big PK saves in 2017 to win a conference semifinal match. Lipscomb ultimately made the final and went to their first NCAA tournament. As a result of Wilson's heroics, he was ASUN Defensive Player of the Year after a match against North Florida back in 2019, and his favorite athlete is Tim Howard. Not a bad guy to emulate if you are a fan of goalkeepers and trying to be a top class one yourself. Wilson, 6'6", 230, student body vice president in high school and a leader here for this Lipscomb team. As it is Liberty trying to test the Bison's defense. They don't have a shot yet. Not just a shot on target, they don't have a shot of any kind. Tyler Welch trying to change that by creating a chance or maybe earning a corner kick. Instead, he's going to circumvent three Lipscomb defenders to Gardner and now Eberle. Eberle looking near side, skips it over to Philip Burnett, the right back. Now it's Seth Clark, the man who makes things go for this team. Ahead for Morris, quick tap. All plays pinball. Robinson trying to clear. So is Scott Golden. Now contact, his bodies come together, and this one's going to go Liberty's way. And that's going to set up an extremely dangerous free kick opportunity for the Flames. 11 minutes to go before halftime, and this undoubtedly will be the best chance that Liberty has had so far. No shots yet today. And they have a chance to change that and change the score line. Clark is lined up above it, as well as another teammate, having the conversation with him about who's going to take this. That other teammate is Marco Matrevsky. Clark, with 3 goals this year, has scored in his last 3, and you'd think he'd be a prime candidate to step into it. Lipscomb with a 6-man wall. That's Clark on the right, Matrevsky on the left. Who wants it? First, the referee is going to organize things. He's making sure that the Liberty player is not illegally participating in that wall. It's Clark whipping that one off the crossbar. Danger still exists until a whistle. Kalala goes down. And Lipscomb escapes, but only just. And now harsh words inside the box after that contact created a confrontation. And Tyler Welch is being escorted away by his teammates. Two teams who have been known for their sportsmanship, but also teams with a lot to play for today. And a firm conversation between the referee and it looks like Scott Golden as bodies came together. But let's talk about that chance again. Seth Clark, 3 goals in 3 games. 4 total this year, and that's if you count the exhibition win over Lynchburg in the middle of it all. And he was a foot away from putting that one where no keeper would be able to save it and giving Liberty a lead on its first shot. Instead, it's a foul in the ensuing action, and Lipscomb, after the referee has a conversation with both coaches, will have a free kick at its 6. And don't count out Michael Sibley from this position. He has an assist this year on a goal kick. This one not a goal kick, but basically serves as one. Since this one in the middle of the pitch, Hayeswood comes away with it and does what Hayeswood does. He charges the other way immediately. The Chattanooga native skips past 2 defenders, beats it to the corner flag, but can't keep himself in the play. And it's cleared harmlessly for Liberty off the boot of Marco Matrevsky. Good effort by Hayeswood. He is unafraid and so direct. And now Lipscomb making a substitution. It's Benny Harris, the senior, coming in replacing Jake Zeck. One senior in for another. Benny Harris, one of the 4 seniors being honored today. A player we were actually about to get to as we're honoring each of those players this afternoon. A redshirt senior from Dunwoody, Georgia. Knows Lipscomb well, though, as whistle's going to go against the Bisons. He went to Lipscomb Academy while his dad was an employee here. High-level academic leader at Lipscomb. Harris, 1 career goal in 30 appearances, now 31. When he played for Lipscomb Academy here down the street, he set the single-season assists record. It's his 5th appearance this season. And a big year for his family as his father was recently named the Chancellor of USC Upstate. Outstanding university in, well, the upstate of South Carolina, in case you wondered where it was. Name might have given it away. Harris graduated from Greater Atlanta Christian School, 5'7", 159, one of 4 seniors being honored today. Along with Luke Wilson, Alex Franklin, and Jake Zeck. 37th minute here on the fringe of Green Hills, in the southern western part of Nashville. No score between Lipscomb and Liberty. By this point, last time out, they'd combined for 3 goals, and Liberty was about to score its 4th. Might Lipscomb be able to muster a chance here and get on the score sheet late in the first 45? The usual suspects line up over this ball. It's Noah Golden who will step into it and whip this one. It's headed away by Gardner. Follow-up shot is high by Benny Harris. You like the action there. Don't blame him for taking that opportunity, not only because he's a senior playing on senior day, his final match at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex, but also because he had a decent sight of goal there. It's the 7th shot of the day for Lipscomb. Just one of them on target, and it was a harmless header from Scott Golden. Liberty with 1 shot itself. Right now, the stats say that one was on target. I did not think that Michael Sibley got a hand on it before it hit the corner of the crossbar. I could be wrong. I have been wrong many times in my broadcast career, but it didn't look like there was contact there. We'll see if that stat is revised. If not, perhaps it was an outstanding save for Sibley to get a hand on it. I apologize if my eyes deceived me there. Glad you're with us today on the Lipscomb YouTube channel. Would love to hear where you're watching from, what you think so far of today's match. Doesn't matter what color you're wearing, whether it's the purple of the Bisons or the blue of the Flames, maybe a little red of the Flames or gold of the Bisons. You're welcome to weigh in, and we'll read your comments on air if they are obviously, you know, within the boundaries of what they should be, but we know these 2 fan bases. We know there will be. Doherty whistled for the foul. Going down hard was Eberle, a freshman from Maryland, whose brother plays college basketball. He's 3rd in the ASUN with 3 assists this year from his central midfield spot. The way Liberty likes to play is a 4-3-3 formation. Those 3 midfielders line up with 1 behind the 2. So it's a number 6 in Seth Clark behind 2 active number 8s in Matrevsky and Eberle. So not a traditional number 10 on this team, but those 2 number 8s kind of play that attacking role. Matrevsky chips this one. He's looking down the right side for Burnett. And part of the reason they don't need a number 10 is this ball is skillfully caught by a fan in a green soccer kit and thrown back onto the pitch. Nice play. Part of the reason they don't need a traditional number 10 is they generate a lot of those chances from the wings as well. Burnett and Betts on the other side typically like to get really high up the pitch. Today it's Gardner in that role, playing back a little more. And one player who has not factored in this match as much of late is Nate Finley, left wing, who was hobbled earlier and has not played a whole lot of minutes since going down with a knock. He stayed in the game at the moment, but was replaced and has not factored here recently. Hope he's okay. Oh, nice idea there by Garnett, interrupted. Lipscomb the other way. One-touch pass from Doherty sets Turner free. Turner down the right side now. The Bisons inside the 18 with Wood, and Wood wins a corner kick. Counter-attacking action for the Bisons, fruitful there, will result in a set piece from the corner spot on the far side of the pitch. It's going to be the fourth of the day for Lipscomb. They've looked for the heads of Javon Smith and Honore Kalala in previous opportunities, but as quickly as this Liberty team can break, you're hesitant to throw your center backs too far forward, even in a corner kick situation. Golden stands over it, whips this ball in, outswinger, headed by his brother, Scott, into the waiting arms of the keeper, Cordero. The second time that combination has resulted in a shot on target, and the second time Cordero has had no problem with it. You like the placement, though, and with the wind blowing as stiffly as it is, right in the face of Golden in that case, he had to play that one low. A line drive was a good idea. Contact in midfield. It was Noah Golden coming together with Tyler Welch, and we are past the 41st minute mark now. Less than 4 to play. Robinson looks ahead, then works it back to William Turner, who can also play center back. He can play fullback. Today he's in central defensive midfield alongside Luca Nauman, and he's playing more of a 6, playing back a bit, as you would expect a guy who can also play center back. Nauman exploring forward as an 8. Robinson likes to get forward. Boy, does he ever. The fullback, such a key cog in chance creation here. Forward for Benny Harris. Harris whips in a dangerous ball. Wood not well placed far post to come onto it, but does win the ball back. Wood inside the 18. Chips it for Smith. Interrupted. Cleared by Clark. It gets as far as Honore Kalala, whose eyes are up. He's going to drive one for Harris just outside the near elbow. Under 3 left in this first half now. Bisons and Flames are scoreless, but that might change soon. Lipscomb on the front foot. Turner to Kalala. Honore steps past one defender. Back to William Turner. The freshman from Father Ryan High School just 3 miles away. To Robinson. Now takes it back himself. Awkward pass there, but Nauman's able to come onto it. Luca Nauman marked by 2. Doesn't fall into the trap. Back to Kalala. Scott Golden. Kalala, sustained possession here for the Bisons. We've seen a lot of this today. Ball skips past the foot of Hayes Wood, interrupted before it can get to the overlapping Noah Golden. ASUN defensive, or rather the ASUN overall player of the week. After scoring a goal against Coastal Carolina, he had an assist against Central Arkansas earlier in the week. Nauman dispossessed. Clark, Nauman pulls him back, and that's going to be a yellow card every time. Indeed it is. The central defensive midfielder Nauman will be playing on a yellow now. He played every minute of this match so far. Now he'll have to play a little more carefully, as in the 43rd minute, he picks up a yellow card for a professional foul on Clark, who was off to the races if he hadn't have done it. It's a yellow card every time. It's also a play that a coach is going to tolerate every time. The one issue that Charles Morrow will have with that, probably not earning the yellow card, it's losing out to begin with and being put in the position to have to go in the book. And it sets up a set piece for Liberty. Musa Morris lined up over this one, the conference leader in points and in goals. Quick tap. Actually, that wasn't Morris. That was Malik Smith. My apologies. Harris to Doherty. Lipscomb a bit out of its usual shape as a result of looking to defend that set piece a moment ago. Clark slips it forward. Chance here for Liberty. Shot just wide of frame and just wide of the foot of Michael Huss. If he's a step closer to goal there, he was going to be able to have an empty net, as it was slid across the face of goal by Tyler Welch and it caught Sibley out of position. But fortunately for Lipscomb, it also caught Michael Huss just barely out of position on that back post. It was almost 1-0 Liberty there. It's the second time they've been denied a chance. Not really created a lot of them, but the free kick earlier in the match by that man, Seth Clark. The man defending here. Hit the upper 90. Hit the crossbar. 40 seconds to go in the half. Lipscomb in possession, looking for one last opportunity in this scoreless, surprisingly scoreless contest. Kalala chips forward for a teammate up to Doherty just outside the 18. Clever play here. It's Turner. His shot deflected. And it's going to skip and spin out for a corner, and Lipscomb's going to have to take this one really quickly. Now when sprinting to get it. The clock continues to run. There's no stoppage time. It hits 0 and we're done. We're at 10 seconds now. Golden lines up over it. Right-footed, in-swinging ball, parried away by Cordero, and that's going to do it for a frenzied end to a scoreless first 45. Everything still to play for between Lipscomb and Liberty as people come together now after that play and neutralizing the hostilities. Benny Harris, the senior, getting involved in a very polite way to try to break up any harsh words. And being escorted away is Hayes Wood. You can understand the passion between these two teams with conference tournament seeding on the line, and for Lipscomb still the possibility of a division title. To earn it, they're going to have to break the Liberty defense that hasn't been broken down much this year, and that'll have to happen in the second half. As after 45, we are scoreless from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Lipscomb 0, Liberty 0. We'll put down the headsets and rejoin you in about 10 minutes. We are scoreless in Nashville. We are almost ready for the second half at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. It is Lipscomb and Liberty battling for the right to host a conference tournament match, and we are scoreless after the first 45. Still everything to play for between these two teams. West Bowling with you on a sunny Sunday here in Spring in Music City. First half stats as these teams get lined up and ready to go here for the second half. Lipscomb dominant, really. At least if you look at the stats. 7-1 in shots, 2-1 in shots on target. They have 3 corner kicks, 2 Liberties, 1. Both teams with 5 fouls in a fairly physical game. A lot of fouls inside the 18 going against the attacking team. Liberty's been whistled offside once. Lipscomb has not. Liberty keeper Danny Cordero has been forced to make 2 saves. And Lipscomb goalie Michael Sibley 1. Senior day. And it is a chance for somebody to rise to the top of the table in the A-Sun in a tie with Bellarmine. Whoever wins would do that, as Doherty was eager to get this started. And especially eager along that right flank was Hayes Wood. He was across the stripe a little early, so we'll redo it. All right, Lipscomb moving left to right. Let's get things started here in the final 45. So much to play for between these two teams. Lipscomb and Liberty, the two best attacks in the A-Sun, each with 15 goals this year, and yet scoreless in the first 45. I would not expect it to stay that way. Seth Clark ranges this one over to the near side. We heard from Seth's parents in the first half. They are watching from New Zealand. Carrie Clark watching their son Seth in Darfield, New Zealand. Welcome to the broadcast as Nate Finley sends this one out across the byline for a goal kick. He disagrees with the call from the referee as he thought it clearly took a touch off the Lipscomb defense. Michael Sibley gets things started quickly. Tapped forward there. Luca Nauman was looking for his teammate Doherty. Misses him. And a skillful takeaway and spin from William Turner to send Lipscomb on the break. It's Javon Smith up top. Smith bounding down the right side before he's interrupted by another Smith, Malik Smith, the senior from Brampton, Ontario, led the team in minutes last year and is a starting center back this year for the club. So 7 shots for Lipscomb. No spectacular saves for the keeper Cordero. He can make those. He didn't have to in the first 45. Both saves were on headers by Scott Golden of set pieces sent in by his brother Noah. The twins from Germany, whose brother is a grad assistant for this team as well. Honore Kalala, the sophomore, has to chase this one down diagonally forward for Noah Golden, one of the brothers, the reigning A-Sun Player of the Week. Earlier this year, he was the Defensive Player of the Week, and in preseason, he was named the Defensive Player of the Year. In other words, he's pretty good at that right back position. Clearance by Matrevsky as Liberty tries to gather and generate an assault on Lipscomb's defensive side. Instead, it's Kalala ushering it back to his keeper. That's Sibley, who launches this one high of Louis Robinson and out for a Liberty throw at the stripe. Let's reset the stakes here on Senior Day. These teams are in second and third in the conference right now in the North Division. They each have a win. So the winner is going to go up and tie Bellarmine at 6 points atop the table. If that's Lipscomb, then they will have a chance to play for the North Division title because they will visit Bellarmine next week. In fact, even a draw today would put Lipscomb within striking distance. If they can beat Bellarmine on the road, they would still win the division. Doherty takes it away. Spans it wide left to Robinson. Louis Robinson, the active left back, forward for Benny Harris. Now whipped in. The cross deflects the foot of Robinson off the hip of a defender, and it's out for Lipscomb's first corner of the half and 4th overall. So if Lipscomb wins today and gets a result against Bellarmine, they might just win the division depending on the goal differential. And a win against Bellarmine would do the trick. If you win the division, you skip straight to the conference semifinals. If you lose, you get second or third, you've got to play that other second or third place team for the right to then go to the semis. And you'd play the winner from the other division. Robinson launches this one in back post, headed away by Gardner. Turner ushers it out of play. Another corner for Lipscomb. It'll be their 5th today now. This one from the near side. The wind is whipping here in Music City. Gusts up to 20 miles per hour, and that could play a role in the trajectory of this corner kick. It did in the first half, as you saw Noah Golden tend to drive it lower instead of trying to get it up into that whipping breeze. It allows him more control. 5 Lipscomb players inside the box, 6 Liberty defenders as Golden raises that left hand and sends his right foot into it. Outswinger, one-touch shot from Turner above everything. That's his 11th shot of the year. Turner, the center back, typically playing in central midfield today. And Turner has now taken a shot in all but 2 matches this season. He has assists versus Liberty and Coastal Carolina. So we talked about the stakes for Lipscomb. Win today, they're tied atop the table with Bellarmine, and they go to play Bellarmine next. A loss for Lipscomb, they can still win the division. It just gets harder because they're going to be looking up with 3 points, as Sibley has to come off his line for a minute. Now he'll collect. They'll have 3 points. They'll be looking up at Liberty and Bellarmine, which will each have 6. A Lipscomb win then would tie everybody at 3. Everybody would have beaten everybody once, and it's a mess. And you have to go to goal differential. So basically, just avoid that, control your own destiny, get the win, and stop confusing the broadcaster. Golden charges forward. Outside the 18, tapped ahead. Hayes Wood. Wood, the wing, toward the byline, whips across past everybody. A little too much pace on that one as he was looking for Benny Harris, the senior, on the other side of the 18. If Liberty were to lose today, things are pretty clear there. They would guarantee 3rd, that is last place, in the North Division of the A-Sun. It's their last conference contest, and they'd be stuck on 3 points, which means they'd have to travel to the 2nd-place team in the quarterfinals. If Liberty wins, things get interesting there, because, again, they would tie Bellarmine atop the table, and it'll depend on how many goals they score today and win by in this scoreless contest for now, because it could come down to goal differential on the last day when Lipscomb plays Bellarmine. So, all a bit in flux. Battle for the ball here. Kalala going up against Noah Holmes. Ball sent back toward the elbow. And Louis Robinson will aggressively clear, looking for Javon Smith. Headed down to Marco Matrevsky, and a skillful one-touch pass from Smith, the direction of Grayson Gardner, the left back. But William Turner is there to interrupt inside the circle. These two teams, the most dangerous attacks in the A-Sun. They've each scored 15 goals each in 9 matches coming into today, as a Walker alongside Shackelford makes the play, tries to throw the ball back in. It hits a limb and bounces right back to him. I don't know that I could have hit that limb if I tried, and I don't think he was trying. Nonetheless, he saw that one bounce right back toward him, and everybody's okay. And you might have been able to see behind that awkward throw-in, standing water still on Shackelford Road. It's safe to drive in. It's not water that's moving fast or that's deep. You certainly don't want to drive in that. But after the 4th wettest day in Nashville history hit us yesterday, a lot of people sorting through things after some very dangerous flooding. And we're very sorry to hear that some folks lost their lives last night. Again, our deepest gratitude to the first responders and those who aren't officially first responders but stepped up last night to help their neighbors in time of need. A lot of people were rescued from dangerous waters last night. On a much less important note, that ended up affecting the pitch just a little bit here, but not as much as you might think. So we're at the bottom of a hill, little standing water, but it drained really well. The grounds crews here do an awesome job. And it is a great playing surface, so much so that Charles Morrow didn't think his team would need the deep water studs. Golden toward the elbow here. Lipscomb amassing an assault on the 18. Golden still with it, crosses it, taps it for Javon Smith, and it ends up in the arms of Danny Cordero. Credit Golden for staying with the play. He had 2 men marking him, and he tried to connect with the freshman striker Smith, who scored a brace in his first career game, hasn't scored since. Credit the Lipscomb center backs as well for interrupting the chance at the last minute and letting it roll harmlessly to the arms of their keeper, Cordero, the Costa Rican, who's spent time with Deportivo Saprissa, the premier club in Costa Rica. Was on the bench a couple times for that senior squad. It's now 11 shots for Lipscomb today, already 4 in the second half. It's 2 today for Liberty as they have 1 this stanza. 3 on target now for the Bisons, as that last opportunity did count. And the 3 saves for Cordero not among the highlights of his season. He hadn't had to do anything superhuman. Frustration from Finley here after a call goes against him for not the first time today. And the referee's going to stop play and have a stern conversation with the coach's son. He's had a frustrating afternoon. Went down with a knock in the first half, and certainly glad to see him back in the contest. And he's having a firm conversation with the referee, who decides to keep Finley's name out of the book. And I think that's good referee. Douse the flames, if you will, of tension, rather than inflaming them with a card. And the pun is very much intended, since Liberty is, of course, known as the Flames. Here in the 10th minute between Liberty and Lipscomb, 10th minute of the second half, 55th overall, we are scoreless, as 2 teams that have been on fire, to continue the pun, have yet to find the net so far today. Here comes the first substitution of the half. Coming in will be Tyler Welch, and he'll enter for Noah Holmes. It's the same pattern that we saw in the first half. Welch for Holmes relatively early. Welch, with his 8th appearance as a sub this year, took 3 shots against Bellarmine in the team's win last time out in conference play. Holmes has started every match but 1, and it was that first Lipscomb contest, which the Bisons won 3-2. It's really amazing when you think about what this Liberty team has done defensively. You look at these 2 teams' attacks and you say, wow, can't believe they're scoreless. But you also remember that Liberty didn't allow a goal in its first 6 matches this season before Lipscomb broke that streak with 3 goals, including 1 in the 3rd minute in Lynchburg. Still only allowed 5 all year, though, all of them in conference play. William Turner marauds forward now. The defensive midfielder slides it diagonally ahead to Hayes Wood. 1-on-1 here as he's marked by Gardner. Wood going to work toward the middle of the pitch. Chips it for Smith, back to Wood. Now a one-touch pass volleyed to Turner. Just outside the 18. Eberle on him. 2 physical players as William Turner, the Father Ryan High School graduate, slides it back to Doherty. Now it's Kalala connecting with his fellow center back, Scott Golden. Louis Robinson, the left back. Tap to Luca Nauman. Lipscomb doing what it's done much of the day, bossing possession. Can they find the breakthrough? Nauman. Golden, the conference player of the year, toward the near elbow. Lobs it back post. A head is there, and it's going to be off the side netting. That was Benny Harris, the senior, and what a memorable moment that would have been. Well positioned. He is such a savvy, smart player. And he is well known here, not just for what he's done throughout his college career, his leadership for this program, but also the fact that he holds the single-season assist record for Lipscomb Academy. Didn't graduate from there, moved to Atlanta with his family. And a big moment for his father, recently named Chancellor of USC Upstate. Great school in South Carolina. Congratulations to the Harris family, who's in attendance today watching their son Benny, who's had considerable minutes today against this good Liberty team. It is the Flames in possession now. And we'll revisit that chance for Lipscomb in a minute, because that ball from Noah Golden was, well, it's what we have come to expect from him, but what we would not expect from many players in this conference and in this country. A spinning ball right on target. And it was Javon Smith and Benny Harris both in the neighborhood, and Harris just couldn't quite connect on frame. But if Lipscomb can continue to create those types of opportunities, as a handball is going to go against the Bisons here, then you like their chances to eventually find that breakthrough. For Liberty, on the other hand, it's a possession-based team that really hasn't seen a whole lot of the ball today. But it's a group that is always capable of getting you on the break as well, as this set piece is sent to the edge of the box. There's Burnett trying to spin one forward. Takes an awkward bounce. Volleyed away by William Turner, the freshman who does not play like a freshman for this team. extremely poised, one of the team leaders in minutes this year. Finley. Forward. Seth Clark. Finley. Corner kick. Finley gets his call. He'd been a bit frustrated with a couple calls by the referee. And he's going to have another conversation with the man in yellow as Liberty lines up for its second corner kick of the day. A little surprising they've just had 2 today. And stepping into this with his right foot is going to be Marco Matrevsky, the Rochester, New York native. He's tied for the ace on lead and assists. Can he deliver one here to send Liberty ahead against the run of play? In the meantime, Finley's going to come out. Sorry, Eberle is going to come out, and Jacob Goodling is going to come in midfield. Now back to the corner kick. Matrevsky gets his whistle. Bodies all around the keeper here. Too close. And actually, it was the referee whistling Lipscomb defender back away from Musa Morris as they'll take this one short. Matrevsky. Ball interrupted. And now coming forward is Luca Nauman, the man who got in the way of that play off the training ground. He's pulled back. Referee plays advantage. Now is going to come back and give a yellow card. And a deserved one to Marco Matrevsky, who knew exactly what he was doing. He was beaten thanks to the skill of Luca Nauman. Talking with Charles Morrow before the match, he said, Luca, man, what a player he is. And he outsmarted the Liberty defense. Nauman playing on a yellow card himself. But now it's Matrevsky that'll be in the book. The first Liberty player to receive a yellow. And he does so in the 60th minute. Somebody still looking for the go-ahead here. Kalala forward for Golden, now to Nauman. Good play there. Launched over to the right flank. That's Doherty. Cross. Cleared outside the 6. Corner kick Bisons. You see the ideas coming together for Lipscomb, and you just wonder if eventually that's going to result in a payoff. Right? So far it hasn't. Golden and Nauman having a conversation as they have before every corner kick so far today. And this is number 8 for the Bisons. The wind continues to whip here at 15 miles an hour, gusting to 20. Will it be an in-swinger from Golden? No, looks like from Nauman. His left foot steps into it, spins it just outside the 6. Kalala heads it down, takes a bounce, long shot Turner above everybody, and it hits the netting behind the goal. Second shot of the day for Turner. And that's what Lipscomb asks of those defensive midfielders. It's not uncommon in soccer, of course, but to sit back and position themselves and get ready to strike when those set pieces bounce back to them. Not much of an angle for Turner there, but he uncorks the shot, his 12th of the season. This just doesn't feel like a match that will end in a scoreless draw. There's really no incentive for a draw, especially for Liberty, who really needs that win to give themselves a decent chance at second place in this division instead of the cellar. If they and Lipscomb draw today, then all Lipscomb needs is a result at Bellarmine to finish above the Flames in the standings, and a win would give Lipscomb the division title and a bye to the semifinals. A Liberty win, and they have the outsidest of chances, outsidest? Sure, of still winning the division, but more likely would finish second. Still a chance of a 3-way tie that could really be messy. But the prize for finishing second and not third is a home conference tournament match in the quarterfinals. The prize in first place, again, is a bye to the semis, where they would host, winner would host, the worst remaining team from the Southern Division. Hayeswood charges ahead, interrupted by Malik Smith, who needs a second. Down on the turf after ranging. He's holding his back after that sliding clearance that he had to make. Otherwise, Hayeswood was going to be where Hayeswood likes to be, in on goal against the keeper. Skillful clearance. The shot count, though, man, it's overwhelmingly in favor of Lipscomb. 14-2 now in favor of the Bisons. It's not surprising to see them put up 14 shots, as Lipscomb leads the A-Sun in that category, but against this Liberty defense that's only allowed 5 goals all season, that's still a heck of an accomplishment. Turner turns, gets it to his fullback Robinson, sends it in, nodded away by Smith as far as the edge of the 18. Headed to the foot of Turner, who volleys it to Golden. Noah Golden, so good at putting in crosses from here. Forward to Wood. Wood goes down edge of the box. Get up, says the referee. And I'll admit, I tend to agree with him. There was a bit of contact there, but it looked like Wood knew his path had been cut off and was probably trying to sell that just a bit. I think that's the exact conversation the referee is having with Hayes Wood, whose aggression, in a good way, knows no bounds. He is fearless, but there I think he was trying to make a savvy play and draw a whistle that was never going to be coming. It was worth a try because I don't think he had much of a path forward. He'd been cut off by a pair of Liberty defenders who have been well positioned today, you have to say. Dangerous play there as the boot of Nauman gets high and draws a whistle, and Liberty has a decision to make here. Of course, they can restart play quickly and try to cobble passes together, but with this wind at their backs, they could, and looks like will, try to launch one toward the area and create some decisions for Lipscomb to make. Can they ask questions of the Bisons here? We are nearly halfway through the second 45, and sending it in will be Matrevsky. Nodded away, and Golden's going to clear. Doherty, hard contact from Finley, whistle, and you wonder if Finley might earn a booking here. It was not a flagrant play, but he has drawn the ire of the referee numerous times today. The referee might just be tired of his antics. The coach's son walks over for another conversation with the man wearing yellow, who's going to pull out the card colored yellow, and Finley's going to go in the book. And again, you get the feeling that's a bit of a lifetime achievement award, but even without the previous discussions between him and the referee, that was a physical challenge that interrupted the possibility of a Lipscomb break, and I think he could have even stood alone there as a cardable offense. It happens in the 64th minute. He is the second player to go in the book for Liberty. He joins Marco Matrevsky, who was booked 4 minutes prior. Lipscomb has one player on the yellow card list. Luca Nauman received one in the 43rd minute for a professional foul. Jordan Eberle comes back in for Liberty, and he will enter for Seth Clark. We will see Clark again in this game. He's a huge catalyst for this team in that number 6 role, and he was the player that Coach Charles Morrow mentioned pregame. He likes this Liberty team, but he says that Clark is the guy that really makes them work. Lots of comments from you on YouTube. We'll get to those in just a minute. Thanks for weighing in as Javon Smith chases after this one, battling Smith, who realizes he can't just usher that one out. He has to clear. Hard contact, and a whistle goes Lipscomb's way. Nauman went down, and now Golden's going to have a chance to whip in a free kick and attempt to put Lipscomb ahead by combining with somebody in the box. 20 minutes into the second half, 65 minutes into this contest. Nauman and Golden will line up over this one. Lipscomb has 5 players on the far side of the box at the top, now 6, and 1 inside it. Golden, spinning ball off target from Smith. He was trying to spin that one off the back of his head, maybe the side of his head. Instead, it hit the front and bounced up toward Belmont Boulevard and hit the netting. Many of you watching us today, we already gave our thanks to Kerry Clark and family for watching their son Seth Clark play for the Flames. Central midfielder with all kinds of talent. They're watching all the way from New Zealand. Welcome. Rosetta Spicer watching. Son Tyrese's team play. They're watching all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Haven't seen Tyrese today as he's had some niggling injuries that have kept him from factoring in as often as he would like. When he's played, though, man, he's been so incisive. Tyrese Spicer this season for the team. 3 goals, tied for the team lead, including an awesome one last time this team was on the pitch here at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex against Central Arkansas. Keeper Sibley put it up in the air, launched the ball 2/3 of the way down the pitch. Spicer, with 1 touch, found himself in on goal and scored near post, a tough angle. the freshman from Trinidad and Tobago, a bright future. He scored 21 minutes into his freshman debut for this team earlier this year. And Sydney Taryn watching. I hope it's not Taryn Sydney. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Viewing from Canada. Braden Barutsky defending for Liberty is her brother. Lots of Flames watching today. We are glad that you are tuned in. Thanks for the Bison fans who are watching as well. As we are 24 minutes away at this point from overtime, unless somebody can get on the score sheet. Wes Bowling with you. We encourage you to weigh in on what you think of this match. Let's have a conversation. I don't have a color commentator today. That can be your job. Weigh in. Tell us what you think about this senior day. And let's talk more about these seniors. We talked about Benny Harris. We've talked about Jake Zeck. We've mentioned Luke Wilson. The other senior being honored today on senior day is Alex Franklin, the redshirt senior from Temecula, California, 6'6", 215. The team captain for his high school team and has been a leader off the pitch for this group as well. The marketing major. His favorite TV show is The Office, and he's a marketing major. I think he has a bright future. He's got good taste in TV. He's a smart player. And the leadership that he has shown for this team off the pitch is going to serve him well. It has served this team well. Noah Golden is set free down the right flank as Eberle tries to chase him. Forward for Hayes Wood. Edged off the ball. Throw will go for the Bisons. Wearing the purple and white hoops today against Liberty in the blue. Golden has been in the center of so much of this activity down the right flank today. He's created two of the most dangerous chances for this team, and he heaves this one into William Turner, whose ball back to Golden is interrupted. Throw for Lipscomb. Golden will take it. The Bisons have carried play today, but Liberty has shown enough on the counter and certainly has enough skill to turn things around quickly on this Bisons team. Not a group you want to count out, as both of these teams have scored 15 goals in 9 matches this season. That leads the ASUN. Danny Cordero is going to step into this one. The keeper for the Flames leads the league in saves, wins, and shutouts. He's the reigning ASUN Defensive Player of the Year. Second-year starter with 7 clean sheets this year, including the first 6 matches this team played. School record. Scoreless streak. That is unscored upon streak. They were not scoreless, their opponents were. Louis Robinson dispossesses Tyler Welch, who was trying to ply his trade on the far side of the pitch, and then Robinson draws a whistle. Nauman. Liberty trying to press here and create a mistake. Nauman, one-touch pass forward for Benny Harris, who's pushed down but keeps it alive for Robinson, who can't keep it in play. The one-touch passing, those patterns of play, so very important against a Liberty team that's pressing. And when I asked Lipscomb coach Charles Morrow what kind of match he expected today, that was it. Both teams pressing each other and trying to create mistakes, then possessing the ball and creating chances. And here, as the minutes tick down, you would think that pressing is going to get even more intense as players get tired and they're more prone to make mistakes, errant back passes and such. Sometimes also you get more urgent in trying to be more direct in getting the ball forward, and you can make a mistake and give it away. And both of these teams have proven throughout the year that they are capable of capitalizing quickly. Finley forward looking for Clark, who's leveled. That's a whistle, and that's a free kick 26 yards out, just past the far elbow of the area. And what could this be now for the Flames? In the 70th minute, they have an opportunity to put in a free kick and change the complexion of this match. Clark's the one putting it down. It'll be a conversation between him and Marco Matrevsky again for who's going to play this one in. It was Clark that hit the corner of the crossbar on an effort in the first half. It still counts as Liberty's only shot on net because it seems that Michael Sibley, the Lipscomb keeper, did get a finger on it. Clark fakes. Now he will be the one to take it with the left foot. Dangerous ball just shy of that far post. He was looking to connect with Braden Boretsky, but if we're being honest, he almost sent that one in himself. The wind fooled the keeper, Michael Sibley, just a little bit. Seth Clark faked with the right foot, then it looked like it might be Welch taking the kick. Threw off the defense just a little bit, and then it was Clark with that left foot. And he almost scored his 4th goal in as many matches if you count the exhibition tally he had against Lynchburg from down the street from the Liberty campus. With Seth Clark, you could easily argue he's the most dangerous player on this team, even though it's Musa Morris that leads the A-Sun in goals, because Clark is the one creating so many of those chances. All credit to Morris for capitalizing. And Liberty is tasting a bit more of the ball here. Engines are starting to fire for the Flames. Doherty goes down. Taken by Kalala a little bit quickly there. Benny Harris lays it down with his left foot. Harris, the senior. Back to Nauman. Forward for Robinson. Whistle, and it's going to be a foul going Liberty's way. More fans weighing in. Louis Robinson's aunt and uncle from the UK are watching. And parents watching in Nottingham, England. Now, I will tell you this, Robinson family, not that you really probably deeply care about my soccer allegiances, but I'm a big Forest fan over here. Don't know what's happening to them this year. Looks like they're going to survive the drop and stay in the championship, but it's not been a year to remember, and it all dates back to that slip they had missing out on playoffs last year, the playoff last year by one day, really. A shambolic performance against Stoke in the last match, and they just never really recovered. So I don't know if you're Forest people or Notts County folks, and I want to apologize if I'm talking your ear off about Forest and you prefer currently non-league Notts County. Either way, your son/nephew, Louis, has been awesome this year. Junior left back, 1 of 4 to start every match. Has 6 career goals. He's the most active player this year for Lipscomb to not have factored into a goal this year, but that's only an official stat. If you talk about hockey assists, if you will, he's contributed so much to this team. And his fullback counterpart, Golden, charges in to Benny Harris. Harris, the senior, taken off his foot by Louis Robinson, cleared by Liberty. Golden, man, what a job he's done on that other side. We talk about Robinson, the left fullback, getting forward and being so aggressive and fun to watch toward that byline. And then it's Golden on the other side, who today has been the leading chance creator for this team. And when you have 2 fullbacks that are as incisive and confident as them, as the whistle is going to go Liberty's direction, then you have a team that's always a threat to get forward. It, in one way, increases your likelihood of charging forward in the attack. On the other hand, you've got to be a little more careful in your central midfield to make up for those aggressive fullbacks charging ahead and protect against dangerous counterattacks. And that's where Lipscomb has been able to rely today on Luca Nauman, on William Turner, who can also play center back. Then on, of course, their center backs as well. This one goes over the top. A chase is on. Kalala wisely heads it down to his keeper, Sibley. Chasing was Noah Holmes. Has 1 goal. It was the game winner against North Carolina. It's the game that got Liberty nationally ranked. And the game that got them unranked was Lipscomb's win over the Flames in Lynchburg, Virginia. West Bowling with you here as we are in the 75th minute of a scoreless contest, surprisingly so. Hayeswood wants to change that equation. Wood skirts the edge of the box, well marked. Tries to put it into the middle for Doherty, who can't handle it. Holmes tapped back and then forward for Finley. Ball sent forward now. Could this be the chance for Liberty? No. Sibley steps forward off his line and clangs that one with his right foot to safety in the Lipscomb bench. Combination play brilliant there. Holmes was charging forward, he and Finley working together, and it took the positioning, the vision, the reaction time of Michael Sibley to interrupt that dangerous opportunity. This game's still scoreless, but that easily the best chance from open play that Liberty has created today. They've only had one closer call than that, and it was off a free kick. Seth Clark put it almost inch perfect, but it hit the corner of the crossbar before a foul ended the chance. I have been informed that the Robinson clan are Forest fans, a footballing crazy family. What a great area of England that is. Nottingham is just lovely. The grandfather of Gabe Finley and dad of Liberty's coach, Kelly Finley, also watching today, watching from Houston, Texas. Says, "Go Flames." Only quoting you there, not saying it myself, but we do welcome all Bisons and Flames fans watching today. John Brown from Lee Summit, Missouri. Alex Brown's dad says, "Let's get a win, Bruins." And Emmanuel Joseph, good question. He asked what conditions are like today. They're windy, and you can probably hear that in my microphone. And you saw that coming. Asked if the wind was affecting the ball. I think it is, especially on corner kicks, and there have been a lot of those today. You see these teams are playing lower to the ground and creating those chances along the turf instead of trying to sky it into that breeze. Right now it's blowing at Liberty's backs, so right to left as you're watching. And again, you can hear it in my microphone, and it's gusting. Right now, honestly, I wore flip-flops today, and I'm shivering just a little bit. When it's sunny, it's warm, but it's cooling things down, and it is creating decisions for defenders when that ball's up in the sky, as it might be here in just a minute. Scott Golden's lining up over this. First, we have a brief stoppage and a conversation between Coach Kelly Finley and the referee. Time is running out for somebody to find the breakthrough. We're scoreless here. West Bowling with you, enjoying a beautiful Sunday of soccer and waiting to see if somebody's going to enjoy a go-ahead goal. Scott Golden, forward to the edge of the box, knotted down by Doherty. These two teams combined for 5 the last time they played. They scored 4 in the first 31 minutes. Nothing so far today. Every touch going to matter here. Golden forward for Wood. Nice interplay. Wood along the byline. His cross is cleared by Malik Smith, and it will be a corner kick, as Danny Cordero was not able to stop that ball from crossing the byline. And Lipscomb will line up for yet another corner. It's their 9th of the day. The wind whipping. It's picking up now, and it's going to blow that ball right to left, back away from goal. So an outswinger here from Golden could be the play to try to take advantage of that direction. That's what they're going to do. Golden spins this one. Edge of the 18. And it's going to be a Liberty goal kick. There was a conversation between players, and it was Liberty winning the argument, as Holmes was claiming, correctly I believe, that it hit the head of the Lipscomb attacker first. 15 shots today for the Bisons, 3 for the Flames. Just 3 of those 15 have been on goal, though, for Lipscomb, and none have been particularly dangerous. Pace Wood with Smith overlapping. Plays it off the defender. Sue Robinson confirming what I believe my research had told me, which is that Louis played for Knotts County for 7 years, but the family blood is Knotts Forest. It says we need a goal. Bisons. Doherty. Noah Golden. Toward the byline. Crosses into the arms of Cordero. Smith was near post, but Cordero expertly positioned. Whistle goes Liberty's way. Going down was Clark. And with 10 minutes remaining in this contest, it is the Flames looking to steal a go-ahead goal. Matrevsky stands over it. Marco with 4 assists this year, tied with Hayes Wood for the conference lead. Again, the wind really picking up here, 20, maybe even 25 miles per hour. Matrevsky spins it up into the sky. It's knotted away by Scott Golden and out for a corner kick, the 4th of the day for Liberty. The Flames have not sniffed goal much today, just 1 shot on target. But 1 touch can change this match entirely. As the sun hides behind a cloud and Seth Clark stands behind the corner flag. Dangerous ball whipped in. Cleared by Robinson. Nauman gives chase. Pursued by Gardner, who draws a whistle. Lipscomb restarts quickly. Going to work down the left flank, Doherty. Forward for Benny Harris, the 5th-year senior. Marked by Burnett. Forward for Doherty now. Doherty, skillful touches before he's dispossessed. 1 too many men to beat there on the edge of the area. Seth Clark, a tremendous box-to-box player, there to deny the opportunity. Lipscomb has been the far brighter team today. Can they capitalize? There's Smith, just outside the 18, Wood. Hayes Wood, the cross, corner kick, Bisons, number 10 today for them. They lead the league in that category. They're extending that lead today, but they do not lead this game. We are scoreless in the 82nd minute. Golden and Nauman, well, you could describe it as well as I by now. You know what the routine is on these corner kicks. And it will be Golden, it looks like, with the right foot, trying to swing this one out and find a purple and white jersey. Far post, headed off frame. Like the idea there, as it's the 3rd time that I can count that Noah has sent it in for his twin brother Scott, and you just wonder how many times they combined on the playground growing up in Germany as well, that exact way. 2 of those have resulted in shots on target today. That one, though, was not well wide of frame. More comments from you tuning in. The Jakubowski family. Go Bisons. Anzi and Joseph, parents of Zarek and Jarek Jakubowski. Thanks for watching today. 2 freshmen that are part of the reason the future is so bright for this Lipscomb program. Javon Smith back to the defense, trying to be the target. Instead has it dispossessed from out from under him, but Lipscomb ultimately wins out. Nauman. Turner. Finley with a takeaway for a minute. Battle for the ball, won by Eberle. Matrevsky takes it into a safer space. Eyes ahead. Flag is up. Holmes was in an offside position. Quick restart for the Bisons. Quick everything here as the urgency has picked up, and it was high to begin this contest. Too physical by Benny Harris there. Whistle goes Liberty's direction. Conference seeding, that's the stakes today. It's Liberty's last conference game. A win can tie them at the top of the table in the North Division and give them at least an outside chance to take the division title and get a bye to the semis. A loss and they're guaranteed a 3rd place, last place finish with a 1-3 record in the division. They'd have to travel to the 2nd place finisher, which will be either Lipscomb or Bellarmine in that case. The Bisons can control their own destiny. Win today, beat Bellarmine, and they win the division. They get that bye to the semis. Anything else, and things get interesting fast. Lipscomb tries to break. A brief pullback on the jersey by Eberle, but he let go before the referee could see it and book him. Good curled ball there from Turner to Harris. Benny Harris into the final third. Conservatively place it back to Nauman. Lipscomb's going to string together some passes here and try to test the shape of the Liberty defense, which currently has 10 men behind the ball, plus the keeper. And a mishit by Kalala, who apologizes with a raised hand to Louis Robinson, the fullback who had gotten forward. Lots of you weighing in now. Bison's UK fan club. 5th cousin, 2nd cousin remove, 13 years old, M&P A&U. Says we need and deserve a goal. Great game, and Liberty should take credit. Open and honest. I would agree with that. Well played. Intense, but mostly classy. A couple of people coming together in the box on a couple of occasions, but nothing lingering between these two teams. Well coached, wide open game, especially if you're a Bison, as Lipscomb has now shot the ball, what, 15 times? Make it 16. Nauman ventures forward, slips it through for Harris, who loses out. Cleared by Eberle, and a well-placed clearance it is, trying to spring the attack. The other way is Matrevsky. Matrevsky marked by Turner, crosses it, and nobody was there. I think he thought he had help, but Musa Morris and Gabe Finley were further behind the play than he might have hoped, as it was an awfully quick break, and he might have done better to sit back and allow numbers to develop. Hayes Wood, one-on-one battle. He usually wins those. Is well defended and cleared by Grayson Gardner, who's been good today. Quickly thrown back in for Wood. He's battling Gardner again for it toward the corner flag. Physical play there. Wood keeps it alive long enough to play it to Doherty, whose shot, or perhaps an attempted cross, deflects off the posterior of the defender. Kalala venturing forward from his center back spot back to his partner in central defense. That's Scott Golden. Robinson. Golden. Nauman. Whistle there. Thought that might have been a clean takeaway. The referee disagreed. Whistles Clark for the foul. Free kick for the Bisons, 29 yards out. Just 3 minutes to go in this one while we have a brief moment. Braden Boretsky's Uncle Peter celebrating his 90th birthday today, wishing he could watch in person. Hopes Braden could get a goal. What a milestone for Braden's uncle, Flames supporter today. Free kick for the Bisons to try to avoid extra time. There would be up to 2 10-minute sessions of golden goal overtime if nobody can break through beforehand. It's Golden and Robinson standing over it, 30 yards out. Lipscomb with 5 players skirting the edge of the 18. It's chipped ahead by Golden and nodded away. It's Braden Boretsky. Nauman tries to send it back in. Matrevsky. Musa Morris. Oh, good ball forward there. The chase is on. Doherty wins it. Incidental contact behind the play as boots got mixed up between Welch and Kalala, and I think good restraint by the referee as there was nothing in that. And it was irrelevant to the play. It was always going to be Sibley collecting that ball. Ball sent down the right flank. Lipscomb trying to catch Liberty napping Noah Golden. Dangerous ball into the 18, curling in that wind before it's gathered in the breadbasket of Cordero. -- 43rd minute of this half and 88th of this match. And I think if you had asked somebody about the odds of a scoreless draw between these two teams after 90, those are not odds many people would have taken. It was unlikely between the two best attacks in this league, as ironclad as both have been at times defensively. You just think that the skill would find a way through. As it is, though, every touch down the stretch is going to be significant. Turner connects with Nauman. Forward for Robinson. One touch pass to Benny Harris. Battle off the ball by Clark. Boy, he's fun to watch. So effective in central defense, and he can come forward and create chances too, as he did with a free kick that was just a foot away from finding the upper 90 of the net in the first half. Ball is out of play. Sibley going to rush to try to get this one back in play now. He'll take his time. Sibley was the hero against Central Arkansas last time out. Lipscomb and UCA were tied at 1, and Lipscomb conceded a penalty kick. And Michael Sibley got down and saved it, stood back up, immediately whipped the ball over to a teammate, and launched a counterattack from a penalty kick that resulted in the game-winning goal by Ryan Doherty. It was a 2-goal swing in about 20 seconds.
1 minute.
Both of these keepers certainly will be tough to beat today. 1 minute left. We're in the 89th. Clock is running. Now it's at 50 seconds. Liberty grasping for one last sight of goal. Robinson clears. It's going to bounce near side. taken by Gardner. Tapped forward, now 35 seconds left. Skillful defense by Turner to deny Welch. A nutmeg attempt there. Turner hits it off the gut of Clark. Back to Turner, the freshman, 25 to go. We are scoreless. Somebody trying to go ahead and avoid the extra session. Eberle. Back to Matrevsky, launched forward.
10, 9,
a hope and a prayer, and that prayer not answered.
6,
And the clock's going to tick away, and that will be the end of the first 90. To golden goal extra time we go in Nashville, Tennessee. On a sunny spring Sunday with high stakes, the two best attacks in the league have failed to break down the other team. And in 4.5 minutes, we will see golden goal extra soccer between Lipscomb and Liberty. Scoreless through 90. We'll be back in 4 minutes for the resolution of a match with huge stakes in the ASUN Conference tourney race. Back in 4 minutes. We are scoreless after 90 minutes of action between the two most dangerous teams in the ASUN, Lipscomb and Liberty, here in South Nashville, deadlocked and headed to golden goal overtime. Wes Bowling with you from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Thank you all for joining us today. We are going to see an exciting resolution of a well-played match between two teams who have honestly earned at least a point out of this match if we're talking about what they deserve. But what you deserve in soccer isn't always what you get. And as we count down the final minute until the golden goal extra session, let's remind you first of how this works and then of the stakes that are at play. First, we'll have two 10-minute sessions of golden goal extra time. That golden goal, if you're not familiar with the term, means sudden death. The next goal wins the contest. If after those 2 10-minute sessions between which the teams would switch sides, we are still scoreless, the match is over and declared a draw, and that draw would be, quite honestly, not really a very good thing for either team, especially for Liberty, who would be tied then for second place in the division with Lipscomb, and Lipscomb has a match to play at Bellarmine. So a result against Bellarmine gives Lipscomb a home conference tourney match. For Lipscomb, the division title is still in play with a win today, and they control their destiny against Bellarmine, who currently lead the division. So all the stakes are in play for these teams. There's even an outside shot that a Liberty win could give them the division title if things break their way when Lipscomb and Bellarmine play. This is the Flames' last conference contest. So, no incentive for a draw for either of these teams. They're going to be fighting hard to find the breakthrough, and we are just about ready to play some soccer, some sudden death, golden goal soccer on a sunny and windy day in Nashville. Scoreless so far. Who can find that breakthrough, or will this one end in a draw? Liberty will get things started, and we'll have our answer in 20 minutes or less. This ball launched high into the sky, headed down by Honore Kalala, and as we get things started, a breakdown of the stats in this contest. Boy, it shows you the advantage Lipscomb has had. They've outshot Liberty 17-3 in this match, 3-1 on target. All 3 saves made by Danny Cordero, fairly academic. The one from Michael Sibley, the Lipscomb keeper, I didn't see it at the time, honestly. I guess he got a piece of Seth Clark's banger of a free kick that went up toward the corner of the crossbar, because Clark is listed as the lone shot on goal taker for the Flames. Liberty moving left to right, and it's deep blue with shades of light blue, and they've won a corner kick here. A chance to resolve this one early in the extra session. Their 4th corner of the day. Lipscomb has 10. And you can feel the nervous energy here at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex as these fans understand the stakes in play. Stepping up to the ball, the right-footed Marco Matrevsky, playing on a yellow card. Steps forward, whips it in, parried away. That was Sibley rising to meet it. Headed back to Matrevsky by Clark. He'll send it in again. Dangerous ball. Sibley loses out at first. Robinson clears, and nobody's back post for Liberty. It's one of those plays that if you're the keeper, you have to make. You can't let that one slip out of your grasp, but he was under pressure and shielded by a teammate there, and credit Robinson for seeing it and making the last gasp clearance. He put it exactly where nobody was. It's exactly what he had to do. Now Lipscomb in possession, a minute and a half into extra time, trying to unfurl the attack over to the near channel. Hayes Wood has Robinson overlapping if he wants him. Wood now tries to find Robinson, but it's interrupted by Burnett. Musa Morris, the ASUN leader in goals and in points, slides it back to Clark, who will direct the attack and launch one ahead. He thought Morris might be running down that flank, and he wasn't. The miscommunication guarded by Luca Nauman. Back to Sibley, who faces a bit of pressure before launching this one back across the pitch. Hard contact there between Javon Smith and Braden Boretsky, who goes down and initially at least was holding his head and now sits up and is having a conversation with the referee. And the referee immediately called to the trainers, even though Boretsky might be objecting to that. And you can't blame the ref for making that decision. Always look out in the best interest of the players, especially when it's a potential head injury. And you see Boretsky up quickly and reluctantly walking over to the trainer. What that means is that Braden will have to leave the match at least for a split second after being evaluated by the trainer. Once the trainer comes out to you, you can't stay in. Now, he'll be waved in at the earliest possible convenience, assuming he's okay. And certainly the speed with which he stood up after that contact would indicate that he's likely just fine, which is what we all want. Boretsky started every match for this team. 1 goal on 3 shots. The Canadian, product of the TFC Academy, Toronto FC Academy. Bustling youth program there in Ontario. We're 2 minutes into golden goal soccer, the first of 2 potential 10-minute periods. If nobody scores, this thing's a draw. If anybody does find the back of the net, it's over. Drop ball, Liberty possession. Ball skied up from the foot of Matrevsky, was looking for Musa Morris. And it's good to see Braden Borutsky immediately back in to rejoin his mates on the back line. Lipscomb in possession. Jake Zeck, the senior. Noah Golden, the catalyst today. Javon Smith races after it, diving and trying to corral it as Cordero. He finally does. It's a dicey position to be in as an attacker. If you try to kick it out of his hand, you can be potentially carded there. Skillful clearance there by Hayes Wood. But obviously you want to try to capitalize on whatever chance you can get. I think both Lipscomb attackers in the vicinity, Wood and Smith, expected Cordero to corral it, didn't make a play on the ball, and then he bobbled it a couple times. A rare slip from a player who is consummately talented. Cordero has seen some time with the senior squad at Saprissa, the premier club in Costa Rica. And there's an example of the wind. So that looked like a bit of a silly play hitting off the back of Hayes Wood. The wind killed that ball. He thought it was going to sail over his shoulder. Instead, it hit him in the back. Lipscomb undaunted, still in possession. That was Zeck trying to cross it. Here's Jake Zeck again, the hero the last time these teams played an extra time. In Lynchburg, he had the game-winning goal, his first career. And get this. Liberty now is playing its fourth conference match. All of them have gone to overtime. That's how tight the margins have been for this talented squad. This ball launched above everybody's heads. It's the back netting of the protective shield that's keeping the tennis courts from having soccer balls delivered to them, with the exception of one in warm-ups that we saw that bounced about 30 feet from an unsuspecting tennis player. Nearly halfway through the first of two extra sessions. Wes Bowling with you from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Things have cooled off just a little bit as this wind has persisted. We are in the upper 50s, the sun making it nice and warm when the wind's not whipping, but my toes are getting a little bit numb here today. Perfect for playing soccer, except of course for the breeze, which can cause some tricky decisions once that ball's in the air. Doherty collides with a with a Liberty player, who's helped up by the referee. That's Marco Matrevsky. No trainer assistance required, so he will be able to keep playing without having to step to the side. Ball curled into the box, cleared by the Bisons. Doherty. Can he lead a break? Far right side to Jake Zeck. The wing playing back in a conservative position at the moment as he was pinned back by that Liberty attack. So Lipscomb, without numbers in the attack, will get it back to their keeper Sibley. Forward now for Golden, whose sliding touch is unable to keep the ball in. It bounces toward the Liberty bench. These two teams playing for a shot, in Liberty's case still an outside shot, of the division title. If you win the division title, you skip straight ahead to the semifinals of the ASUN tournament, and you would host that semifinal match against the lowest remaining seed from the Southern Division. Nobody has seen cross-divisional play this year, so Florida Gulf Coast, North Florida, Jacksonville, Stetson, all mysteries of sorts. Lots of quality in this North Division, though, as there's a giveaway and a chance here for Liberty. Noah Holmes toward the elbow. Cut off. Back to Finley, the coach's son. The clearance actually finds its way back to Holmes, and Kalala has to slide that one out of trouble. Second place would host a quarterfinal match against the third place finisher in the North Division. So Lipscomb, Liberty, Bellarmine. The second would host the third. And, of course, third place then travels in that quarterfinal contest. Finley tries to send this one across the face of goal for Holmes, who's battling Robinson for it. Back toward Musa Morris, who's pushed down there. Groans from the crowd, but the whistle, I think, just there on Hayes Wood, who was trying to break. And it's a rags to riches, or in this case, riches to rags situation, as Liberty tries to take the kick quickly. And the referee wasn't ready for that. Blows it back. So instead of having a break and a chance to counter, it's a free kick for Liberty in an extraordinarily dangerous place. And Musa Morris now is going to, after trying to take that kick quickly, join his teammates on the far side of that box, and standing over it, as usual, Seth Clark and Marco Matrevsky. Shout out to the women's soccer team at Lipscomb watching after a big win today against Kennesaw State. Lipscomb still undefeated in league play. Liberty trying to deal the men a big defeat. Clark, far post. And now a whistle as bodies came together. Sibley collided with Malik Smith. The goalie has the right to his space there. Smith violated it and is whistled for the infraction. And the referee making sure that Sibley is okay, telling him to hold on a second as Smith is still down. The center back aggressively went up for the ball, and you would expect nothing less in a game that means so much. A good cross, a chance. But again, you can't violate the keeper's airspace like that. And now the referee will call for the trainers to come on and take a look at Malik Smith, the senior from Brampton, Ontario, transferred from Grand Canyon University, where he scored a pair of goals in 21 games played for the Antelope. He's up now and gingerly trotting toward the trainer. He will have to leave at least momentarily. And standing next to me up here, the Liberty softball team watching. The game, I believe, postponed today between Liberty and Lipscomb in softball, if I'm correct. So we have a large Liberty cheering section now joining me, as ASUN play is tight, not only, of course, in soccer, but across the spectrum. The Bellarmine men joining the conference here in soccer and leading the division, at least as we speak. They were good in basketball this year, too. Liberty, ultimately the men's winner in basketball, Florida Gulf Coast, the women's. And Lipscomb volleyball, the win today gets them to the next round of the ASUN volleyball tournament. Another fall sport being played in spring because of the pandemic. Takeaway, slickly done for the Bisons. Aggressively forward for Javon Smith, too much so. Under 3 minutes left now in the first of 2 extra time sessions. Golden goal, sudden death soccer. And by the way, Malik Smith back in the match after being hobbled on that aggressive attacking attempt. So we have people watching today, not only here in Nashville, Tennessee, but from New Zealand, from the UK, from Trinidad, from Texas, all over the world tuned in for this high-stakes contest between two teams that might just be the class of the league, but right now are not at the top of the table, thanks to Bellarmine's strong early conference play. All 3 teams could still finish first, second, or third, but a result here could help define that picture much more clearly. Whistle goes Lipscomb's way here. Malik Smith not quick to give away the ball, but now the Bisons will get it back and take it quickly. Louis Robinson, under 2 minutes to go. Hard cross to flex high. Battle for the ball, foul, Smith. Robust crowd in attendance today. People, of course, appropriately socially distanced throughout the seats, but nonetheless about as big a crowd as you can get with those restrictions justifiably in place. It is a tremendous afternoon after a tough weather day yesterday. Musa Morris with 2 men on him. Stops, turns, collects, now regathers his attack. Finley forward, Robinson interrupts, beats it to the touchline, but it hits Finley just outside the elbow. The coach's son clangs it off Nauman. Clark forward now, dispossessed. And that looks like it hit off a Lipscomb body. It did. Corner kick for Liberty. A chance to end it. They've got 35 seconds to do so before the first of 2 extra time sessions is over. Then we'd play 10 more. The tension building. The Liberty chances have been building in this extra time period as well. Seth Clark looking to end it with his corner kick service. Middle of the box, cued high by Kalala. Sibley punches it away, doesn't go far. And a whistle goes against Liberty. Contact inside the box. Looked like it was Malik Smith again whistled for it. Lipscomb launches, and that ball's going to roll harmlessly until the clock expires on the first 10-minute extra time session. After 100 minutes, still nothing decided between these two teams. We'll come back for the final 10 no matter what. We only have 10 more minutes maximum of soccer to play. Can Lipscomb or Liberty find the breakthrough? They haven't yet. We're scoreless, and we'll be right back. We are 1 minute away from the second and final session of extra time. Wes Bowling with you from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. It is Lipscomb and Liberty battling for conference tourney seeding and potentially a Northern Division title at stake here in the ASUN. And they are deadlocked. The score sheet is empty after 100 minutes. It is golden goal soccer. Next team to score wins. If the 10 minutes expire without a goal, then both teams take a point. And it would all but assure Liberty of third place in the Northern Division. They'd be tied with Lipscomb on 4 points, but Lipscomb has another match to play and would just need any kind of result against Bellarmine to host a conference tourney match. For Lipscomb, the aspirations are to win the division. They control their own destiny. They need to win today to increase their chances of doing that. A draw today, though, and then a trip to Bellarmine, a victorious trip to Bellarmine, would still give them the division titles. They have a little more breathing room, but as we've said earlier in this match, there's really not a lot of incentive for these teams to sit back and take the point. They're going to be taking the possession to each other instead. Not a lot happening in the attack there for either team in that session. It was Liberty, though, putting a couple of shots on target, according to the statistician. The Flames enjoyed a pair of corner kicks, 2 shots. Lipscomb did not muster a shot in that 10-minute period. Teams will switch sides now. Lipscomb moving left to right as they did in the second half. In the purple and white hoops, Liberty in the dark blue, the two-tone blue, if you will. Dark kits with the light blue shoulders. Lipscomb will get us underway. The final 10 minutes, here we go. Lipscomb and Liberty. 2 best attacks in the league have shut each other out so far today. Will that continue, or will somebody find what would be a big-time breakthrough? Whistle goes against the Bisons. Thanks to each of you for watching today. We've had a lot of fun with the interaction, speaking with you. Many, many comments on the YouTube stream. And we appreciate every one of you for tuning in today for a longer match by a few minutes than what we might have expected. But maybe not, because these two teams played in overtime last time. 96th minute, it was Lipscomb finding the winner. We played more than 96 today. Ball sent across the face of the box. Cued away by Burnett. Mishit, though, leads to a cross from Hayes Wood over the head of Benny Harris, the senior. Louis Robinson fires. He's well off target. That one several feet left of frame, but it's the first shot by Lipscomb in the extra session. In fact, in all of extra time, in the 11 minutes and 10 seconds played of golden goal soccer. Again, next goal wins this one. And you see the energy and intensity from these teams. It was Lipscomb taking the fight to Liberty for much of this match, but in that first extra session, it was Liberty with the bulk of the chances, including a pair of dangerous corner kicks. So now Lipscomb in the position of having taken a punch from their conference rival and trying to punch back. Benny Harris into the third. Launches this one looking for Hayes Wood. Can't come onto it immediately, but he is going to interrupt it before it can cross the touchline. He's marked by Gardner. And he has won a corner kick. The first corner of extra time for the Bisons. Their 11th today. Noah Golden, as he's done time and time again this season for Lipscomb, will step to the corner spot. He's going to raise his left hand and send an outswinging ball near post, headed away by Kalala, still in play. The center back gets it back to Golden. Noah Golden spins this one. Headed back outside the elbow. Turner knocked down there, and a whistle. Free kick, Bisons. 3 steps inside the far touchline. Turner thinks about taking it quickly. Instead, Lipscomb is going to gather numbers inside the box and lift one into the 18 and see what kind of magic it can create. Noah Golden, the reigning conference player of the week, ready to step into it. Right-footed service. Headed high, Kalala, back post. Scott Golden, header disrupted, and Cordero comes down onto it. Kalala was in there too, the 2 center backs battling to try with all their might to finally get that ball past Danny Cordero. He was having none of it. The Costa Rican keeper sure-handed again. And then he sends one into the wind, almost the width of the pitch, toward the 18. Suddenly it's Liberty on the front foot. And Sibley's just going to clear that one into the trees. And it bounces just outside the perimeters of this field. Clark. Eberle. Burnett. The right back for Liberty, battling with it with the senior Benny Harris. Wins that battle, knocked down by Robinson, but a foul is whistled against Liberty. And a group of bikers who didn't quite know what to do when a soccer ball came flying at them decided to stop and do the courteous thing, wait till play is over, and heave it back onto the pitch. Hard to believe we're almost halfway through this second extra time session already. The action has been back and forth. It was Lipscomb with 2 set pieces, one a corner kick and one a free kick. Nearly put them ahead in that second opportunity, but couldn't find the breakthrough. Nobody's been able to yet. We have played 104 minutes of soccer and change. Golden laces that one forward. Good touch. Javon Smith. Smith outside the 18, still on it. Plays the shot high and wide. You love the stuff from Smith. It was tremendous service into him from Golden. Javon had a channel and just a glimpse of an angle, but the freshman from Nottingham, England, couldn't find the target. His college debut went pretty well. 2 goals and an assist. First time he'd ever touched a college pitch. He was named to the National Team of the Week. Since then, he's not found a goal. He's had a couple of shots today that have missed the frame. Kalala heads it down for Hayes Wood. We're halfway through the second extra session. Time running out for somebody to find the go-ahead. Ball squirts forward for Javon Smith. He's beaten off the ball by Matrevsky, who clears. Throw, Lipscomb on the edge of the Golden third. I'll throw it in quickly. Doherty. Flames fans making their voices heard here. That's the Liberty softball team supporting their comrades. Kalala collects. Loops it forward. Turner back to the keeper, Sibley. 4 minutes, 15 seconds away from declaring this one a draw. That's a fate neither of these teams would prefer. And this showdown between the 2 best attacks in the league has been a defensive one. Robinson wins out. Forward for Doherty. Field switching ball for Noah Golden. Golden, so many options here given his skill set. Taps it ahead for Wood. Hayes Wood looking back for Doherty. Interrupted. Good positioning by the Liberty defense there as Lipscomb was combining well. They're trying to switch the field and catch Liberty out of its shape, but the Flames, especially inside the 18, have been firm. There's a dangerous ball down the pitch. Robinson tries the one-touch cross, like he might have tripped a little as he delivered it. It's a mishit. Clark to Eberle. Can Liberty take advantage? 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Finley, ball intercepted before he can come on to it. It's Noah Golden. Golden marauding his way into the final third. Marked by 2 men, slips it forward for Smith. Javon Smith to the byline. His cross. Doherty can't gather. Eberle taps it back to Smith. Javon Smith slides. Still no whistle. Clearance, Flames. Boy, if Doherty had the wherewithal to get that onto his left foot, it would have been a weak-footed shot, but it would have potentially been a consequential one. 2:48 to go. High service here. Grayson Gardner. One touch, intercepted by Golden to Hayes Wood. Wood, marked by 2 men to Golden. Noah Golden, the player of the week in the conference, can't connect with a teammate. Noah Holmes the other way. Musa Morris, the conference leader in scoring, off the arm of Benny Harris, but it was in a natural position. They'll allow play to continue. Kalala, the center back, stepping forward. All numbers forward now for the Bisons. 2:15 to go. Doherty. Mishit there, looking for Nauman. Instead, Clark interrupts. Seth Clark chips it forward, looking for Holmes. All of a sudden, a back and forth, wide open battle between 2 teams, desperate to take all 3 points. Hayes Wood trying to claim this game in the name of Lipscomb. Sent forward for the senior Benny Harris, who's played the entire second half in extra session. Nauman, Robinson, Louis with a low cross. No problem for Burnett. Minute 40 to go. Scott Golden, Louis Robinson, back to Golden. Kalala right in the middle of the circle. Lipscomb has carried play in this extra session. They've yet to capitalize. The next goal wins. If no goals in the final minute and a half, this thing's a draw. Golden. Nauman. Nauman forward, Harris. Taps it wide, Robinson. Louis Robinson. His cross deflected again by Burnett. Nodded away for the moment by Clark. Long shot attempt, high and wide. Ambitious
1 minute remaining.
by Turner, but you can't blame him for the hunger. He saw a chance to win this match, and now we're under a minute. And Liberty keeper Danny Cordero can take his time, deliver this one down the pitch, and it would mean that likely Liberty would be the only team with a chance to score in the waning moments if they can possess the ball. Instead, he's going to hit it short to Grayson Gardner, and it's intercepted. Hayes Wood charging down the right side, goes down, no whistle. The referee's going to let him play. 30 seconds to go. Lipscomb throw, Golden to toss it in. Forward for Smith, everybody forward for the Bisons. Smith toward the byline. Out of play, corner kick, last chance, clock ticking, 15 to go. It won't stop, there's no stoppage time. It's a goal or nothing in the final 10 seconds. Taken quickly. Nauman, 8 seconds. Played wide, now 5 to go. Scott Golden, can Lipscomb find one more attempt? They cannot. It's a draw and a well-deserved one at that. After 110 minutes, who would have guessed that the 2 best attacking teams in the ASUN would find themselves in a scoreless deadlock, and yet that's where we are, and both teams will take a point. For Liberty, it's their last conference contest, and they will end the conference campaign with a record of 1-2-1, 4 points, right now tied with Lipscomb for second place. But Lipscomb has another match. They'll go to Bellarmine next weekend, and here's what that means. A single point against Bellarmine, and Lipscomb would finish second. A win against Bellarmine, and the Bisons would take the Northern Division title, take the bye, and play in the conference semifinals against the lowest remaining team from the South. So that's where we are. Liberty does not have a chance to win the division now. The best they can finish is second. What they need, then, is for Bellarmine to beat Lipscomb and to make up a goal differential deficit that would elevate them to second and send Lipscomb to third. Wow, what a match. Final stats, Lipscomb 20 shots, 3 of them on target. Liberty 5 with 3 on frame, each keeper then with 3 saves. Good day today for Danny Cordero and for Michael Sibley. 17 fouls apiece, 12 corners for Lipscomb, 5 for Liberty, who was whistled offside twice. Lipscomb did not find itself offside. This also closes out senior careers here at home for 4 senior players, although they do have a chance to return next year due to the eligibility exception made by the NCAA, but still we want to make sure we give final recognition today to the 4 seniors who may have played their last home match. Jake Zeck, Luke Wilson, Alex Franklin, and Benny Harris. Thanks to each of you for the contributions you have made to the success over this program. Those seniors led this group to 31 wins in 78 combined appearances, 2 conference titles, 3 appearances in the conference title match, and a Sweet 16 appearance back in 2018. Their contributions will not be forgotten here at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex, and it'll take a while to forget this game as well. A scoreless draw between Lipscomb and Liberty sets the Bisons up to win the Northern Division and seize a bye to the semifinals with a win at Bellarmine that game next week. Liberty ends its conference campaign. Thanks for joining us today from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. For everybody behind the scenes, I'm Wes Bowling. So long.